of the people here, how many are part of the LGBTQ community?
I think there might be a few people that have one or two lines that aren't, but you know, I didn't want to completely erase straight people from the narrative the way they've erased me for thousands of years, because I'm trying to be bigger than that.
Darling, you take the high horse and I'll take the high road. If you're too good for us, you'll be good riding solo.
시간을 변동해줬어. Don't worry about tomorrow. So 지평선에서 미루고 기대. 자세 나쁘지 않아. 옛날에 공을 쳤거든? 지금은 못 치겠어. Yeah.
Has only been sober for 3 years.
Oh, wait, excuse me? Did you just say let's talk about the husband?
Let's not talk about what you don't want out.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Don't you ever don't touch my husband ever.
Just saying.
Don't you ever.
You don't want out for everybody to know. You better watch what you talk about me, or everybody will know.
Never.
Everybody
go
will
near
know.
my husband.
Everybody will know.
You understand that?
Everybody
Never
will
go
know.
after my
Everybody will know what you don't want.
Be surprised if we never saw Denise Richards again. I couldn't stop saying it. I'm doing the dishes. I wouldn't be surprised if we never saw Denise Richards again.
It works in so many different contexts.
And it means nothing.
Nothing.
Cause my team the largest, writers and flyers. King of the teams, I speak to all ages. We in sync while going through all phases. Positivity is what made us famous. Well, so much endurance, I should've ran track. Song so good, promise he'll get a plaque. Cause it takes two to carry all the big things. It takes two to end up with a shiny ring. Cause it takes two to end up with the finer things. If you rush through the film, you might miss the better scenes.
It takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to make a eyesight. It takes two to make a thing go right.
Japanese animation? Do some, I know you like Studio Ghibli.
Oh, come on. Come on, this is my question. Okay, wait a minute.
뭐 요새 빠져 있는 거 많지.
Spy Family.
Oh,
You guys know Spy Family?
안녕.
와쿠와쿠, yeah.
이 표정을 해주세요.
So if you guys ever run into stray kids on the street, make sure to do that for them. Alright? 자, Stays. Are you guys ready to watch them on that stage tonight?
또 우리 스테이도 항상 이렇게 행복한 시간을 보내겠죠. 근데 다들 이제 뭐 I feel like everyone's just thinking, oh wow, Felix is spending such a great time by himself.
I know.
Yeah. People think, you know, it's just great to be back in Australia by himself, but not really, you know. I feel like there's always a person who needs a friend to be with, so
Yeah, I think so too.
yeah. What do you think, Chan?
Oh no.
What do you think, Chris?
I feel like people need to be with someone that they love if they want to be in a really nice place.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty true.
I think so.
Facts.
I just teleported here.
Yeah.
I might just teleport back. I mean,
Okay.
it's a really nice place.
Yeah.
Beautiful place actually.
Yeah. But aren't you busy?
Yeah, I think I need to go back to Korea. So I guess I'll come here. And then
Come here.
I'll go for a swim.
Don't you want to see Barry?
Oh yeah, I gotta check out Barry.
Yeah, Barry's probably missing you.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna teleport home. Probably say hi to Barry,
Yeah.
and I'll be back. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 네, 찬이 형도 네, 왔어요. 찬이 형 이제
왔습니다.
이렇게 함께 하고 있습니다. 왔어요. 찬이 형 이제
왔습니다.
이렇게 함께 하고 있습니다. 제가 호주에서 이렇게 많은 힐링하는 시간도 보내고 있지만 이렇게 찬이 형도 힐링하는 시간도 보내야죠.
That's right.
Yes.
저도 편하게 쉬다 가겠습니다.
It's very nice.
It's Australia.
호주입니다.
호주다 호주.
호주스.
와.
와. 아 근데 멤버들도 왔으면 좋겠는데.
그러게 다 같이
멤버들
왔으면
다 같이
더
와서 진짜 좋은 시간을 보낼 수 있을 것 같은데 다음에 우리 멤버들 또 기회가 생긴다면 다 같이 이렇게 배도 타고 맛있는 것도 많이 먹고 힐링도 하고 뭐 물론 다 어디 가든 힐링을 하겠지만 그래도 여기 오랜만에 또 오고 싶죠 우리 멤버들.
마사용.
Yes.
마사용.
It's very great. Very nice.
저랑 릭스는 푹 쉬다 가겠습니다.
네, 한국에 또 가서 열심히 화이팅.
What was that, Barry? What was that? It's a monster! It's a monster! Hannah, Barry says you're a monster. Chan, what's your favorite Australian snack? I actually had a Tim Tam milkshake earlier. That was really good. That was really, really good.
When?
Why not?
No one told me.
No, cause I was with Felix and we had something to eat.
Why didn't you get me one? This is
Pick-
I'm gonna riot. I'm literally gonna riot.
Anyway,
What? What? Stop that! Stop that! I'm serious! I'm serious! You are so annoying. You are so annoying.
so if I want to like verify who I am on like Korean websites, my name is just too long, so I can't verify myself. And yeah, that can be quite a nuisance. So I have to call them and be like, hey, can you help me out? I'm actually a foreigner, but my name's a bit too long, so I can't verify. And then they're like, oh, okay, we'll try to help you out. And it takes like 20 minutes because it doesn't work for them too. So guess I'll change my name. Hannah, what should I change my name to?
Change your name?
Yeah, if I had to change my name to anything, what would it be?
Why do you want to change your name?
It's just an
You
example.
should change it to Felix.
You're not funny. You know that?
A lot of people would disagree.
Yeah. Felix is Felix's. Felix 이름은 필릭스 거인 걸로. 저는 베리로 하겠습니다.
저랑 배신한 스트레이키즈 왔겠죠? 못 나고 들었는데 그 세븐틴 주인이랑 뒤에 이제
저희 TV 있어요 방에. 짠. TV가 있어요. 없어요? 침대 이렇게 됐고, 약간 구조가 약간 뭐라 해야지? 어떻게 보면 여기다 붙여놨네. Hi Felix. Yeah. 그래서 나중에도 사진 더 많이 찍고 그러면은 여기다 붙이고 이러려고요. Yes.
Sometimes you get what you've always been wishing for, and most times it's not on your deadline, but that's alright. I was worn out and jaded from trying on people to love, but you fit so well. When they ask why, I can never explain, but a symphony played when you told me your name, and I took that as a sign. Will you be my beginning, my middle, my end? Will you be my beginning, my middle, my end? Will you be my beginning, my middle, my end? Will you be mine? And I think we've seen enough to know that you ain't never gonna come down. So why don't you giddy up and ride straight out of this town? You and your horse, you and your horse.
So people need to know on this stage, don't come for me unless I send for you.
Why do you think it's taken this long for a movie like this, two gay men in a romantic comedy, finally being on the big screen?
Well, the real answer to that is that the world, including Hollywood, has been very homophobic. And it's a complicated topic because in some ways Hollywood has often led the charge when it came to LGBTQ issues and representation. And yet, underneath it all, I think there was always a fear that the quote-unquote mainstream audience wasn't necessarily ready for this type of movie. And I think because of that, a lot of our stories weren't told.
Daydream about me, and I know that you hit the nuts without me. Baby, I hate them too. But you know, I'm coming back to you. Midnight, my heart is racing. We're wide awake in this hotel room. We only got 6 hours, but sleep don't matter when I'm with you. So just hold on to the memory of me riding in your front seat every day. And I'll hold on to the smell of your sweater that
시작이요? 아, 제가 좀 비행기 역할을 하세요? 그래요. 진짜 약간 액팅 크게 해주세요. 형이 액팅
They're in the bars and through the smoke screen of the crowded restaurants. It's love. Yes, all we're looking for is love from someone else. A rush, a glance, a touch, a dance, a look in somebody's eyes, to light up the skies, to open the world and set me reeling. A voice that says I'll be here and you'll be alright. I don't care if I know just where I will go, 'cause all that I need is crazy feeling, a rat-tat-tat on my heart. Think I wanted to stay.
We've existed since the beginning of time. As long as there has been human civilization, there has been LGBTQ people, and that is going to continue.
I'm coming back.